On this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, the local geeks network of spies have brought us some new brews for us to try, and Jerky as well. So that's interesting. What are we talking about? A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Expensive watches, relevant news, TV, a new computer game that Howard's watching somebody else play. Trust me, it's more entertaining than I'm making it sound. It's kind of late and I need to go to bed. But don't worry, you're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder. Pour a cold beverage, porpoises, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay? Oh, come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that's working for a living. You know, living and a working. We're taking what they're given because we're working for a living. I'm your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
I am present. I am here. It is another show, and we are back from being on the road. So take that as you will. How are you doing?
Well, you know, it's been a couple of weeks.
Kidder, that's not the phrase.
Well, I know it's not the phrase, but it's the truth. And I'm back. You know, last week's episode, I didn't make it the whole way through. I would have loved to have stayed and continued to chat with you and Big D, but health got the better of me. And I'd like to say I'm in peak condition after some rest, but there has been no rest. And so I'm even rocking the tired Howard voice. So since you're all jet-lagged and traveled out, and I sound like The Walking Dead, it's a good thing
that's how you roll.
Well, I was gonna say we're bringing in somebody to help liven up the show, help bring some energy,
the big
guns. And to help kind of carry us across the finish line with this one. Ladies and gentlemen, making his return to the show, it is the Triple B Brewmaster. The local geek is here. Local Geek, how you doing tonight?
The number one viewer of our show.
Probably. I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for having me back on. I can't say it's been a week like you guys. It's been a pretty decent one this week for me. So, in fact, I'm not even rocking the It's Been a Week glass. I got the traditional Beer Blues BS.
Look at that classic, awesome pint glass available at beerbluesbs.com. Click on merch or streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs/merch. Shop well.
I'm just waiting for Kidder to eventually make the shirt that says, "We have merch at beerbluesbs.com."
Well, I like wearing different shirts each week, and that would just get boring visually.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't do anything for the audio listeners.
Yeah, well, I'm like the exact opposite. I'm almost always wearing one of the same hoodies because my basement is frigid all the time and such. So
you should get a fan.
A fan?
Yeah.
I got one. He's on the line.
I don't see a line over there.
My basement gets cold in the wintertime, and I got a little space heater next to me.
Sounds like somebody's thinking ahead. He doesn't have to wear no stinking hoodie.
Well, I mean, I do also have a gas fireplace down here, but...
What, is it out? Is it out of gas? You need to fill it up?
I just haven't turned it on. I don't need to, heat up my basement.
Apparently you do, because you have a sweatshirt on.
It's going to be one of those nights... And if we're going to get through that, that means, gentlemen, we should do some drinking, which means we should get to everybody's favorite segment, which is What's on Tap. And Local Geek, you brought us this as part of a larger shipment of beer from your network of spies. But
it's like a care package.
Yeah, the spies were very efficient this round.
Yeah, this is pretty impressive. I was surprised when Kidder stopped at my doorstep and he's like, "Here!" It's like, oh, we're gonna be drinking this beer for months. Well, me, I mean, boy, Kidder drinks, weeks.
I'll be on a few times with you guys probably when you have them, but feel free to have them other times too. I did mention to him the bottled ones. I already drank my bottles of, except for one of them. So,
Yeah. So I picked out at least the one we're starting with because I am parent in charge this week. So this is my one, and as I told the gents before the show, I picked the one that was in the largest can and with the highest alcohol by volume. So the three of us are starting off with from the Tilted Barn Brewery out of Exeter, Rhode Island, the Littlefield American IPA, to which Kidder groaned and has one more reason to hate Howard. As goes. This is naturally unfiltered, farm brewed, made in Rhode Island. 6.3% alcohol by volume. It comes in pints. And what we have on the back here says, store cold, enjoy fresh. Littlefield. Littlefield is a beer that has been years in the making for us here at Tilted Barn. When it started as a seed for an idea, what has started as a seed for Kidder's distracted me because he's trying to show me the expiration date on the bottom of the can, which is in the corner of my vision. What started as a seed for an idea has grown into an amazing IPA that you now hold in your hands. Like it's just in one hand. Take that, Cam. Littlefield features our signature house yeast, the base of pale malt, white wheat, and heavy dose of oats, with a drop of hop blend of Citra, Idaho 7, and Sycamore. Littlefield exhibits a bold mix of dank citrus notes. That is not a description I would normally choose in a beer. Mixed berries and subtle bursts of pine. Located in our authentic New England-style post and beam barn, we are proud to be Rhode Island's first farm brewery. Our small batch handcrafted ales and lagers are best enjoyed fresh, so be sure to visit us for a true farmed pine experience. Cheers, Matt and Kara. To the Barn Brewery, 1 Helmsley Place, Exterior, Rhode Island, 02822. You can also find them online at tiltedbarnbrewery.com. Please recycle and help keep the ocean state clean. So,
if they were an ocean state, then they wouldn't have any land mass.
well, I just cracked mine open and it's angry. So,
Before you did that, did you see the expiration date on the bottom?
no, I was busy trying to read and I'm just watching the bottom of your can kind of go in and out as you were trying to get focus. It was very distracting.
I've been trying to get focused for a while. It expired in May.
So
may the beer be with us.
it definitely smells of hops.
I will say my spy purchased it like maybe a month ago at best.
So, well, gents, this could be good. It could be bad. Either way, it's an IPA. Cheers.
Cheers to doing the thing. And the thing with the thing. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Well, it's an IPA.
Yeah. Anybody getting the mixed berries flavor coming through?
Barely.
Yeah, I'm picking up a little bit of sweetness that would come from the berries, probably.
How about any of those dank citrus notes?
It does have kind of a dank odor.
Is it definitely a dank aftertaste? Or is that like a rank stank?
I don't know. The subtle bursts of pine are kind of in your face, so
yeah,
It's not as subtle as I'd hoped. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've noticed every time I have an IPA on this show, I take a drink and suddenly it almost makes me have a stroke because it always just hits me weird. And IPAs are the only thing that does that to me.
Interesting.
Maybe you're allergic to IPAs.
I wouldn't doubt it because there's a lot of pine in here. A lot of that outdoorsy type stuff shoved in here, and the planet likes to try and kill me. So, probably. I guess I'm going to have to get an analgesic. Have that on standby.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe an antihistamine as well.
Yeah. And you just got to get people to stop bringing you IPAs.
I mean, that would be okay if they actually cared. Then they would know. But I don't think they care.
I would like to mention, though, Dialectic recently released a new IPA that is actually pretty good, and you may like it, Kidder. It's still got kind of that bitter hoppiness, but the hop that they used is an experimental hop that has
course
oak bourbon barrel flavor and vanilla. And it's so it comes across
vanilla.
Comes across more like a almost like a darker beer, but with pretty hop forward flavors. But it is still pretty light in color.
I'll let Howard take one for the team, or you because you like it and you get out.
I have had it and it's not bad. I would drink it again.
Yeah, I might have to try that. That actually sounds kind of good. So, while Kidder is recovering from that sip he just took, Local Geek, I do have a beer that I will have to get to you at some point. Because while I was out in Dickinson, I stopped in at a Cashwise to get my dinner and checked out their liquor store to see just if they offered anything that I hadn't seen around here. And picked up an interesting thing. And I was like, oh, okay. I can only get into a 6-pack. I'm like, okay, well, I'll try it. It's interesting. And then when I went to pull 2 cans off to give to Kidder so he could have one and give one to JS, I saw that it was also a pale ale. And I'm like, oh. So when Kidder came over, I'm like, I'm sorry. I got excited about one thing on this, and it didn't realize what it really was. So,
Is it from Fatfish?
No. It is out
Good
of
guess.
the.
No. Let it be a surprise.
Okay.
He shall be surprised.
I will be surprised. I was curious because I haven't really seen a lot of their stuff around here, but I have seen it in like liquor stores and stuff other places. So,
I did look because they did have some stuff from Fatfish, but nothing that really like jumped out me a whole lot, and I really didn't want to buy like a ton of beer. So
about a half ton.
How about a quarter ton?
Sure. Throw it in the back of the truck. Let's go.
Well, it's not a truck. I drive a little Toyota Matrix, so.
Right, maybe you had a state fleet vehicle. You're
No.
out in the Western Territories, and you need to get with the times out there, the rugged terrain, and so then you had to get a truck, and it's like a rock that's built tough, and you're out there on the range, and you get in a hat, and suddenly you're out there watching the sunset and letting the steers just go right on through into the pasture, and you tip your hat back, and you got a nice fresh frothy beer, and you just kind of toast to the times.
No, I have my personal vehicle out there because I have to run some personal errands, and they frown upon you using state fleet vehicles for that. So, rules, man. Rules.
Not like anybody driving those vehicles actually follows the rules.
Oh no, I do, but the number of times, Kidder, that I've been riding up and down the old interstate and I get passed by a state fleet vehicle and I know like I'm right on the speed limit. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what you should do? Have a notepad and go. And then just set the world ablaze.
I'm just waiting for DOT to eventually get to that point where they're like, hey, we're going to, because my dad, when he worked for Butler Cat, they actually had this. Their fleet vehicles were set so that if you went over 80 miles per hour, it would actually send an email to your boss letting them know that you were speeding in a fleet vehicle. So I'm waiting for DOT to get that.
You know, you say that, but, you know, it's not like the state will actually put money where it's needed. So I doubt that's high on the priority list because they just like having, you know, emails and notices and calls because that's efficient.
Mm. Well, enough inside baseball for this episode. And no, we're not going to talk about baseball. So Kidder can be happy. So, gents, I have kind of been away from the world in a cabin with no TV, no internet, anything like that. So I'm a little bit behind. Anything exciting going on in the world that I need to be caught up on? Anything interesting?
Did you hear that they took the skywalk down over University Avenue?
No!
And McVeigh has been torn down and rebuilt.
Man, you're crushing my heart here.
West was also torn down and will reopen shortly.
This joke would be funnier if Local Geek had seen the episode that came out this week. But
I thought it was like before that because it's been weeks.
it has been weeks, and we keep milking this joke. But no, that episode just came out.
Well, this is going to blow your mind because the whole Walsh complex has also been destroyed. They tore all that down.
I can't handle all this change, man. Next thing you're going to tell me they've torn down the whole campus and rebuilt it all.
Halfway, they redid the Union too. Again.
I'm just going to have to go take a campus tour because I'm going to be like, I don't know this place anymore.
Mm-hmm. The funny thing is the joke with the Union could be our joke about every third year, and it would still be a current joke because they redo the Union every 3 years.
Did you ever really hang out much in the Union?
Yes, because I had a lot of classes over there.
Mm.
So I would go eat in the marketplace up there. Especially when I didn't have the meal plans, like when I was off campus, because I wouldn't want to drive home and then have to drive back and repark and whatnot. So, yeah, I'd bring my laptop, actually get some, food, sit down in a booth, and I'd watch some episodes of Star Trek.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just never really spent a lot of time just hanging out in the Union,
Yeah.
Like I know they had like the billiards table and such downstairs, but I don't ever remember playing billiards there.
Yep. We did at McVeigh, but I never did over there. And I rarely ate at Terrace, which was the dining center in the basement of the Union.
Yeah.
Rarely. But I'm sure that's gone now. So
I don't know. If it is, we'll talk about it. Most likely next episode.
it might be breaking news at that point. I don't know. If this episode waits 2 years to be released, then it will be breaking news.
No.
We got to get on the current news cycle of UND student union renovations.
Well, I mean, listen, I hope to be back on schedule with the release of episodes. We just kind of had that a bit of a fluke and hey, here's the fun, timey-wimey side of us recording this, because at the time of us recording this, episode 123 just dropped. And this is going to be like episode 126 or 127. So there's like 3 or 4 episodes in the can, and people are going to be like, wait, what? You're just... The basic story, for anyone who was wondering, kind of hinted at it last week. But things with work and trying to pull off a few family vacations and just even being on those vacations and all of that, I put myself through 3 or 4 weeks where I was maybe getting 5 hours of sleep and literally made myself ill. It was bad. Clearly something had to kind of change and go. And I had episode 123 about an hour, the first hour of it edited. And it was one of those, like, I could have stayed up until 2-3 in the morning to finish the last hour and get it rendered so that we could have made it on time. But I chose to sleep instead because my body was not with it. And then, as I said in that episode, we lost our site supervisor out at the chateau, and I've since been covering out there. And last week, I honestly just forgot to bring my external hard drive where I keep all of our data, but our files and such. And so it had kind of 2 weeks off, but I'm hoping to be back on schedule with it. So hopefully you guys will all be seeing the episodes, see them come out. There's some good stuff coming up. Kidder going to Vegas, and a few other things, some other guests who we haven't seen in a while popping up in that time period. But that's what happened. That's why we missed some weeks. So, and Local Geek was very patient. He wasn't texting me all the time, letting me know, like, hey, when's it going to go up? Huh? I'm missing my fix.
It's very surprising.
I know.
I held back.
That's good. But it means I was late on a lot of things. So, like Local Geek, I saw your comment about not wanting to move to Grand Forks. Come on, man. So, but yeah, that's why we had this break. And as I said, I have spent the last 2 weeks living in a small cabin with no internet and such. But hey, I got a story for you guys. A little bit of nightmare fuel.
Do you have another juice?
I didn't.
Did you suddenly live a day in my life?
No.
Because that would probably do it.
No. So because of the situation, no TV, no internet, and just trying to work 2 jobs at once, my routine out at the chateau has been I get in to the interpreter center at about 7 o'clock. I make myself breakfast because that's where my kitchen really is in the interpretive center. And then I start work on emails and things like that. I work all day. We close the site at 5:30. My staff leaves. I go, I make dinner. I eat dinner. And then I start kind of working on my regional manager job and anything that I need to do with that until about 8:30, 9 o'clock, because I want to try to always get back to the caretaker's cottage before the Medora musical lets out and there's a string of traffic, because the last thing I need to do is be hit trying to walk the caretaker's cottage, because I have to walk along that road for a little bit. Anyway, one of the nights I'm on my way, making my way out, and we've had this doe and who's had 2 fawns, and she kind of hangs out around our interpretive center right at night. And it was Tuesday night. I'm walking along the road along the west side of the building, and that's where they happened to be, was right there. I spooked them. The 2 fawns ran to the ravine that's close by, and the mom took a couple steps and stopped, and then realized, oh, this is the guy who's been walking past here every night now for like a week and a half. And so she stopped. The problem is that road and the road that I then need to take to the caretakers has a bridge that goes over that ravine. So I'm heading right for that ravine. And this mama doe decides, wait, even though I think he's harmless, he's heading right to my 2 young fawns. And so this damn deer silently stalked me the entire way to the bridge. And I say it's nightmare fuel because it literally was like I had the flashlight on my phone and I'd be walking and I'd turn back to look and she would stop walking and just stare at me. And I'd start walking again and she'd like she stalked me, like seriously, the entire way. And yes, it's a deer. And, I'm not scared of deer. But a deer that's trying to protect its young with their hooves, those hooves are actually pretty sharp. It can mess you up. So that was fun to be stalked like all the way home in the pitch black dark with the only light being your flashlight. And you're just wondering, like, because I have to go across that bridge. You're just wondering, like, how far is this deer going to follow me? And is it eventually going to just determine I'm a threat? So, yeah, that was fun. So, the joys of living in the wilderness.
You could have just turned around and yelled at it, "I'm a pacifist!" and see what happens.
So you're saying I need to brew a beer and somehow name it related to that so that you can make a cool logo for that one.
Bambi's Revenge.
Well, I mean, you could. I still got to get you more of those graphics. I have them. I need to do it. Put that on the list of things to do when Howard's got time. So 10 years from now, maybe. This IPA is not getting any better. It's not getting any worse.
I don't mind this one, actually. Like, definitely not one that I would regularly choose, but it's not one of the worst IPAs I've ever had.
Oh yeah, it's not the worst. It's just like I'm really getting the hop flavor and nothing else. And that's just maybe a little disappointing.
A lot of suck.
So I don't know. I'd probably rate
Look,
this.
it's like, but it's decent.
I'd probably like rate this like a 3.2.
Wow. Because of the lack of overpowering, like punch you in the face hops. This is more like a light slap across the face hops. I'll give this a 1.2.
I'm with Howard on it. It's probably about a 3.2 for me.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but it's I think it's maybe the fact that it's like because it's a whole pint. If it was like this much, might be more doable on a regular basis, but I don't know. It just seems a lot to get through. So, but
You guys don't have the glass, but it is a pretty hazy IPA too.
That must be the dank. It's danking you. It's like a dab, but it's just dank. Instead of the just dank.
So let's see what else can I regale you guys with. I spent a night, at least one night. I went over to the Little Missouri Saloon in Medora. I like to if there's a place I was gonna say there's a place I like to drink in Medora. It is the Little Mall. I don't know if either of you have ever been in the Little Missouri.
I try to stay out of the river.
Wow, that's like a geography joke that only people in North Dakota are going to get.
Oh wait, there's a little Missouri. There's like a regular Missouri, right? Is that like the state? Go ahead.
Anyway, it's my preferred place to drink. Not that I do a lot of drinking in Medora, because when I originally worked out there, I lived in Dickinson, so I had to commute and I just wanted to get home. But I always drink there because I know the owner, a gentleman by the name of Jim Bridger, who great guy. He's probably the only person in Medora who every time he sees me in Medora, his first words are always "Welcome home," So, as I said, I get along very well with him. Was there over the winter. Was there one night, and he was trying out a bunch of things for the menu at the Little Mo. So he just ordered a bunch of stuff. They made it and brought it down for us to try and give feedback on and such. Anyway, good guy. But I was in there. It was a pretty quiet night. But I kid you not, I honestly watched 4 or 5 people order Sunny D vodka seltzers and drink them willingly. And those things are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I mean, have you seen Society today?
I try to stay as far away from Society as I can.
And just for those of you watching or listening, that's not you. You're not Society, just so you know.
Unless you like Sunny D seltzers.
Then you're Society. Get the hell out of here.
Triple B, Society free since 2021.
That was the only thing I liked about COVID. Everybody, get the hell away from me. Social distancing. Like a good neighbor, stay over there. Also, I have to make the note that there's a guy. You said the owner's name is Bridger.
Mm-hmm.
What's his last name?
Yep.
And he owns a bar named the Little Muddy.
Little Mo.
Little Mo.
It's a Little Missouri Saloon. Yep.
So there's a bridge over the Little Mo.
This sounds like a stretch for a joke, but yeah.
Yeah, like a bridge going over a river. Listen, it's been a long day and a long couple of weeks too.
I think we gotta
Give
cut
me
Kira off.
just a little glimmer of freaking hope. And I was going to say the actual word, but it's also been a week there, so I held back, and that's like the littlest piece of restraint that I have left, and I wasted it on you. What else is happening out west, Howard?
Well, I mean, not a whole lot that I can talk about, because it's Medora, and it's amazing how political that little town is, and so there's things that I can't talk about. But one of these days,
we start talking about them, and then we just put up an intermission.
No, because that sounds like editing. But anyway, that's what I've been up to. What was I going to say? There's a show I started watching recently. Oh, it wasn't a show. It was a stream. So while I've been eating dinner out there, and I'm going to look up the game, I have been watching a streamer.
Beer, Blues, and BS.
And I actually have not watched the streams that you guys did, Kidder, but I just...
Even the guy who edits it doesn't watch the show.
Well, I didn't watch those, but that's mostly because I just didn't really want to watch Farm Simulating. Anyway, I watched this.
It was funny.
I'll check it out at some point. But I'm trying to look up. So I've been watching a streamer by the name of Ray Narvaez Jr. He's one of the guys who he was part of Achievement Hunter and Rooster Teeth, and then eventually left to become his own professional Twitch streamer. But he's been playing a game, and Kidder, I think you might actually enjoy this game. It is called Contraband Police. And what it is you are a border agent in a country that may or may not be a spin-off of a particular communist country that, you know, is sometimes referred to as the Bear, you know. And it's yeah. And so it's kind of interesting because you get to actually like inspect vehicles using a UV light, looking for smugglers, arresting people, taking them to labor camps.
So you don't have to worry about violating people's rights because they don't have any.
Yeah, kind of. And you get to upgrade your little border station as you make money. There's a couple of other interesting side quests, a couple of rebellious groups who will like do things like ambushes and such.
And then you shoot them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
cool.
It's surprisingly it's been surprisingly entertaining. So I've been watching him play that, and Ray is an excellent guy to watch play it because his reactions to stuff are just hilarious. So it's a good time. So I've been enjoying that. I'll put a link to it down in our show notes if you want to watch it. But I will say, if you're watching it, you're going to get spoilers for the game. But Kidder, I do think that you might actually enjoy some of it. So it's been interesting. And you can get it on Steam. Yeah, there we go. I don't know what the price tag is on it, but it's been fairly interesting. So there, that's what I've been watching while I sit in my office eating my dinner alone. Mm-hmm.
There it is. Special promotion right now that ends September 1st. So sorry. It retails for $19.99, on sale for $15.99. At this moment, there's also a gunsmith bundaroo that retails for $39.98, on sale for $28.78. The thief bundle or bundaroo is $39.98, on sale for $32.38, or the buy bum contraband bundaroo, normally $37.98, on sale for $30.58. There's also, if I go back to the search, let's see, there's airport contraband police prologue, Captain Contraband, and Saddle Up and Drive El Contrabandista. Completely unrelated from any of the others.
No. But I think you'd enjoy it, Kidder. It's, as I said, it's got a little bit of that meticulous police work. There's high-speed pursuit. There's some gunfights in it.
Airport Contraband looks like it might be the same game. Colombia, 6:20 a.m. Searching. Marijuana. Cocaina.
Yeah. As I said, I'm watching him play it solo, so I don't know if there's any sort of like multiplayer to it, but something for you and the Rude Boy to check out, because I think you guys would enjoy it.
So Rude Boy got invested in Airport Sim. I wish they came back with the the airport simulator that I used to play 20 years ago because that game was one of the best. But Farm Sim 22 or 23, he ended up buying one of the later ones and saying that there's a lot of improvements and a lot more fun and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but the one that I got was free. So, and on top of it, if you watch the stream, you're going to find some shenanigans because it was the first time playing that game. Maybe the last or second to last. I think I played it again technically, but figured out that there's an Earth editor in the game, and I thought it worked kind of like Sim City or Cities Skylines. No, no, it's different. You don't just like raise the train or lower the train a little bit. Yeah, there's a tractor that disappears. So I also, you will love this, I operate the skid steer a lot. Because yes, there's a skid steer with all of the implement attachments.
It's good. It's going to say, Kidder, it's going to have a position open up here in September for winter maintenance guy out here, the chateau. We have a skid steer. You could plow snow with it.
Yeah, but it's got to fit into my schedule, and I don't know if you're going to want to pay gas mileage and maintenance for me to get out there.
That's true.
I'm expensive.
Yeah. So, local geek, since we're, or at least I'm transitioning to a different topic, I know you had some things that you wanted to talk about. I figured we should throw it to you for you to share.
Sure. So I had some sort of, I guess, excitement this afternoon. For you guys both know, but the viewers probably don't. My house has a guest house in the backyard of it that my brother-in-law lives in. And I got a text message from him just after lunch today that he has a keypad lock on his door, and it was not working. So he texted and asked if we had a spare key for it, and unfortunately we didn't. So I was like, well, I've got a meeting coming up here. I can come home after that. You can kind of see over here, I do hobby lockpicking. So I was like, I'll give it a try. It's definitely a lock that's going to be above my skill level because I'm not super good at it. Like, I'm like 2 tiers above beginner out of like 7 tiers or something like that. So I was like, I'll give it a try. So I spent about a half hour trying to pick the lock and didn't get there. I think I got pretty close from what I could feel on the lock, but I just couldn't get it to release. So we ended up drilling it out. That's that picture I texted you was the lock after we drilled it out. So that was kind of a fun experience. Not really what I was expecting to do on my afternoon, but
I thought you were going to say that by doing that for an hour or so that your level went from 3 to 40, kind of like in World of Warcraft when you go fishing for 20 minutes.
No, I wish it worked like that. I spent a lot of time stuck on the tier I'm at where there's a lot of security type pins in the locks that I'm on now and having trouble getting past those. So I don't have as much time to dedicate to it as I did pre-child, which is when I kind of excelled through the first couple tiers.
I guess I never realized that there were tiers to like lockpicking.
I don't know if they're official, but the Reddit lockpicking, they use karate belts to go with your levels. And I honestly don't remember even which color I'm on off the top of my head. But
Interesting. Is there like a particular test you have to take to move up in tiers? Kind of like, again, if you're using karate belts, like
so for
test in level.
For the Reddit one, you have to post pictures or videos. Once you get to where I'm at, you have to post videos of you actually picking the lock and then tearing the lock apart to prove that you didn't take all the pins out to be able to successfully do it. The earlier ones are locks, like your cheap ones you buy from Walmart that you can't take apart, so they know that they're most likely a legit lock if you just have a picture of it.
Interesting. Did you buy a bunch of special lock picking gear for this hobby, or is this?
I got most of them as a Christmas present for my wife the year that I expressed interest in it. Like, I bought myself a cheap set just to kind of practice with it, and she saw that I was enjoying it, so she bought me a nicer set.
And how much does it cost to get into lock picking as a hobby? I'm just
the cheap set I got. Not even sure. Yeah, it's right here. Comes with. You probably can't see it very well in the dark, but oh yeah, you can see it pretty well. There's a handful of different picks in there. I think that was like $20 for a starter set. And then
Show and tell with Local Geek.
yes, it's a fun little hobby. I also picked up one of these clear locks, so you can kind of see how it works and see what you're doing as you pick it. So I got that to practice with initially, and then moved on to some other locks that I just happen to have laying around. And since then, I've picked up a few other ones as I graduated into those higher tiers. So the locks I've been working with are like a $20 padlock for the ones where I'm stuck at. So
You want to know what my lock pick is? Either this, as in like, or my boot.
most of the locks that I would work with on the level that I'm at are going to be like what you would find for a lockout tagout lock for like a mechanical area. Those are typically of about the security level where I'm at.
Oh, interesting. I guess I've never thought of lockpicking as a hobby, so it's just.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how I got into it was through a cybersecurity conference, actually. A big part of cybersecurity in general is not just protecting your digital assets, but physical access. Like if somebody gains physical access to your data center, they can do whatever they want in there. Doesn't matter how good your firewalls are if somebody's got a flash drive plugged in and downloading your files.
Control Alt Delete. Local Geek's like, no, it's not how it works. Sure, it is.
So, like BSC in town here, they do a cyber security conference every year, and first couple of years they did it, I went to it. My work sent me to it, and they had a little lock picking table that you could go and practice on, and that's kind of how I got into it, was learning about it there. So,
no, that is all very interesting, and it's the least interesting cybersecurity training because I just had to take my quarterly cybersecurity training, and it. Kidder, do you have to do that? Just the old NDIT quarterly cybersecurity stuff.
Probably, yeah. There's a lot of stuff I have to do, so it probably just shows up. I do it, forget about it. Lock your computer if you walk away. Don't plug anything into a computer that you find laying around.
Oh, that's the funnest way to do it. If you find a flash drive in the parking lot and just plug it in.
That's what I think anyway. I mean, sand and all, just jam it into the USB port upside down.
No, I was just curious. If you had to do those. I'm tired of them, but the big one that I have to do here again is defensive driving for the state. That's a 4-hour training. Yeah.
But you can take that certificate, give it to your insurance company, and you get a discount. Says the guy who doesn't like saving money.
No, I was just going for the comedy.
Maybe I haven't had enough alcohol for that.
Well, I mean, you did have an IPA, so.
How's that IPA going, Kidder?
Oh, it's pretty much gone. I say pretty much because there's something left and it's over there now and I'm done with it.
I'm out too.
I'm at about half. But again, this was my one. So you guys feel free to have what's on tap round 2. I'll sit here and just continue to work my way through this thing.
Classic Howard.
Some might even say vintage.
Vintage! I have something for you guys that you might think is interesting, or you might also go, what the hell is that? And it's one of these.
Looks like a bottle opener.
Yeah, but can you tell what else it is?
Hell's Angels.
No. Let's just say fuse is a go. So that's, the front of this bottle opener.
Wow.
Okay. And it's a Point Blank Enterprises bottle opener. So there you go. You can find them online, pointblankenterprises.com, at the number and whatever internet searches. So it's a company makes body armor and other products, obviously, like ballistic shields with lights on them and stuff. Little promo item. Been waiting to share on the show. And one of my favorite things, completely unrelated, but a pick from Las Vegas at the ABC store, and that is High Chew pineapple packets.
Did you check out the whiskey down when you were there, Kidder, and set them straight?
No. Ain't nobody get time for that. Because they'll be like, okay, look at this guy. Thinks he knows what he's talking about. He must have a podcast. So I wasn't going to waste my time on them. Plus, if I had to get a ride over there, it would have been like $30. So, also, I don't know if these guys are still around. I didn't fact check this, but because I got this last year. But this is one of my rideshare drivers in the photo there. So there you go. There's a cheap plug for Forefront. They sing in and around Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah, he was really funny too. Forefrontofficial.com and all of the other Forefront emails. If you want them to come sing at your whatever. I don't know if they'll travel up here to Medora and help you reopen the chateau over the weekend.
Oh, we're still open. It's just
reopen for the day.
Oh,
you close at some point, right?
it feels like we never do, but that's from the guy who's working like 14, 15-hour days. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. Carry on.
Since I was talking about Vegas, in the Vegas episode, you'll see a lot of or you have seen because it's out already. Duh. So you saw all of the what? He's laughing. You saw what?
I'm just laughing because I haven't even got to editing it yet. So.
I
haven't seen it, but
you saw it clearly because it's out. Duh. So there's a lot of the fan sets pins, which I, of course, have picked up over the years at the con, but this year ended up deciding to get a couple others after the con. So here, the Strange New Worlds official show pin, if you will. What? Because it moved? Is that what you're laughing at? What? Yes. Yes.
Yeah. It was just because about the time that you got it in focus, it just went whoop.
Well, it wasn't really in focus. It was just, there. Now it's in focus. You can see. There you go. Also, Frozen Badgie. There he is. Ah! Yeah. Frozen Badgie. This one I had ordered, but they were out. And my original order, where I secured the actual pin before it was sold out, went to a distribution center in California and was destroyed and then returned. I don't know how it was destroyed, but don't ever send stuff through Southern California, I guess. It is the 30th anniversary of Deep Space Nine. Yes, look at this gorgeous 30th anniversary pin in all of its blurred glory. There you go. Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Yeah, Howard's impressed. He's so impressed that I'm not even going to take a picture of it to have him superimpose. I'm just going to sit here and talk until it comes into focus. Because why not? Why not? Right? Just we'll have it do the thing. 30 years. There it is. Look at how it's almost the same resolution as the original Deep Space Nine airing starting back in 1994. 93. Yes. Oh man. Oh, we're getting it. We're getting somewhere. Anyway. So there's that one. And then I shared last year the other one. But they also have the Mini Delta. So it's just a little guy. But since I know you're asking and you're wondering what last year's specific STLV limited edition pin was, it is they do the poker chips for the STLV conventions. And that's Beckett Mariner when she got promoted in an episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. And if you look at the die, they are 2022 and they add up correctly and whatnot. But yeah, I love it. So there you go. There's a couple extra pieces that I picked up, and if you missed the episode with all of the other booty from the con, well, just go back an episode or 2 or 3, depending on what Howard numbered them as.
That is a good question. Hard to say what Howard numbered him as. So
I'm sure you were also questioning what this year's STLV Star Trek Las Vegas pin was, and it is this very cool poker chip looking item with, yes, that's Quark. The other one did very well at focusing, but and the symbols around the outside there are the Dabo and Tongo symbols and Ferengi writing on the bottom for Quark. I mean, the eyes are almost big enough. Almost. You need to make them about 5 sizes larger. Glory to your house.
sorry, I had the idea to do that, and it became obsessive for me to actually pull it off. So
You'll also learn in the episode that, or maybe you were still there. I don't remember if you had left yet, but on my birthday, I got to speak with the Chancellor of the Klingon High Council, the Klingon Empire.
I was still there.
Okay.
That's why I knew about the whole like glory.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm,
Good.
mhm. Yeah. See, I pay attention
Yeah.
sometimes.
You know. Aside from that, side note, since we're kind of talking Trek for this second, William Shatner, the Shat. There's a watch, long awaited, in fact. He talked about it at the con. So you can pre-order now. It is a watch. Normal watch. From eGuard. He has been working with the company. They approached him about making a watch, and they've been working together for over a year to produce this watch and just how Shatner wants it to be. Cool thing is it has meteorite dust in the face of the watch. And then the way that it looks is very space-oriented, which is neat. And I think William Shatner has signed them, and it's, based off of his watch, whatever. But you can pre-order them on Kickstarter, and there is, in fact, a QR code and whatnot that's neat if you're into watches and you like William Shatner and all of that sort of, and space, several different things there. I don't know the price of the watch. I almost don't want to look because, it's probably a lot more than what I think or want it to be. Okay, I'm looking. You talked me into it.
You're welcome. While he's looking it up, Local Geek, I have to ask, what you snacking on over there?
Got some chili cheese Fritos. But
I'm not.
Well, we're on the subject of snacks. Did Kidder give you a little baggie of jerky too?
He did. I didn't know if I was supposed to have it on the show or not, so I didn't bring it down. But
It's up to you.
I've been sitting here with this IPA, and I'm like, I could go for a snack right about now.
That's exactly why I grabbed the Doritos.
You better go get it because we might as well have it. And before you run off, the base passages special, according to this, the Swiss assembled passages web timepiece designed by William Shatner and design approved by NASA with certified meteorite dust on the dial, plus the extra lunar strap at an amazing price. It will retail at $695. The Kickstarter is a mere $415. So, Christmas is practically right around the corner. If you would like to give your starving podcast host a gift, that would be a fantastic thing. The Kickstarter's there, and I'm sure that it's in the show notes too.
Yeah, as long as Kidder tells me the address. Yeah, no, with this, I figured you had. This IPA. I was looking earlier for a snack, and then I noticed that the Local Geek was eating something. I'm like, oh, I'm jealous. I don't have snacks, which is why I had to ask. But I'll run and go grab the jerky. You guys either introduce a new beer or come up with a different topic.
Yeah, it's about time for a new beer, right, Kidder?
Yes, I'm thirsty, clearly. And I need to get the nasty taste out of my mouth of that. So.
You got something on standby, or you got me to lead off with what
I have a whole fridge over here, and so it's really up to what you have on your end, Well,
I've got something here that I'm pretty sure came from you. It's from the old Shiner Brewery, representing Farva and Meador here. So there's
Freemador!
potentially
Hashtag
some
it.
big news coming out of that, hopefully, but Still in limbo from the last update that I saw. But this one here is the whoa. It's angry. It's the Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right. That's about all I think we got on the can here from the Shiner Brewery, or the Spetzel Brewery in Shiner, Texas. Handcrafted in small batches, 99 calories. It's the easiest drinking Shiner yet. I'm almost positive it's been had on the show before. I don't have the spreadsheet up, but you get something tasty in there? Are you having the same thing?
No, I do not have another one of those, thankfully. Since we're going kind of on the redo of things, I will just go with the Liney's Summer Shandy because I have a few of them left. I have a few more of the Grain Belt Blue, but I feel I need to have this first if I'm going to have a third, and the third one will be the blue. So
perfect. I've got a segue from when you have the blue, so I'll wait for when you have it.
Okay, Howard's back.
I'm gonna disappear for a second to go get my jerky now.
We shall wait. How are you doing, Howard? What's happening? What's going on? What'd you do?
You
got the jerky.
Got the jerky.
What else? What else is going on?
I mean, nothing much, man. I really have been working and such. Although, Kidder, I will say this because you'll get a kick out of it. I have edited the majority of the Triple B content. Well, we got a message on the old Instagram. And it was from an account that was called Pimp My Video. And it said, hey, I've been looking at your stuff. And, I could make your videos better. I'm a freelance editor.
Are you saying that he could pimp our videos?
Yeah. I mean, he was basically trying to get us a higher service, but I'm not gonna lie, I was slightly offended at that because I'm like, damn it, you don't know how hard I work on these things, jerk. Come in here like I could make your videos better. No, you couldn't. Take a look at the content you get, and you'd be like, ugh.
Yeah, have fun editing this, you asshole. Good luck. Make this shit better. Go for it.
You just need more exploding beers.
Cheers to that.
You don't even need editing. It edits itself.
Yeah.
How much? Well, I suppose you were so offended that you just blocked and reported as spam, but I'm slightly curious how much the price tag would be, because number one, not like we're actually positive revenue on this thing, but number two, if we could throw all of that to somebody, here, you figure this out. What do you think it would be?
I don't know. He didn't give me a price tag, and I didn't reach out to him because it was one of those where I'm like, no, that's not the best way to get business,
Mm-hmm. Hey, your stuff sucks. I'll make it better. No. Nah. Hey, maybe there's a good freelance editor, video editor who wants to take on the Triple B.
As long as they work for Jerky.
Good jerky, probably.
Yeah, that jerky was that's the batch I made with the cold smoke Alpine touch on it. So.
I'm not gonna lie. When Kidder brought over the beer this evening, and then he handed me this, I was more excited for this because I saw your Facebook post where you were like, "Oh, I'm making jerky with this." I'm just like, "Oh." I want some. That sounds delicious. So
When I made it, I had every intention, if it was good, of giving you some. If it sucked, I wasn't going to.
Or he was just going to say that it sucked and keep it all for himself.
Smells delicious. So
It did not pick up as much sweetness out of the seasoning as I expected, because that is a fairly sweet seasoning.
it is.
But it's very good jerky. I like it a lot.
I'm going to give it a taste. So we'll see how I think. Kidder will probably get there when he gets there.
Sorry, just messaging Rude Boy about the what the hell was that game? Contraband, some police contraband, that thing.
Contraband police.
Yeah, that thing. Whatever. Apparently only single player looks like, but he was laughing at some of the things and then would be fun if it was multiplayer, but probably not, and single player only on the Steam page. And so then I sent him a damn.
That's pretty good.
It smells really good.
We're not an ASMR podcast.
I'm trying to get viewers here. You better hashtag ASMR so then we can at least get like 5 views.
Yeah, but then I need to find the Photoshop will also have to be clickbait. I'll have to find probably some good looking chick to put on there because
yeah, let's do it.
We'll see what happens. But that's pretty good. That's pretty good stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, it's one of my favorite recipes I've done. My other leading recipe that I do of jerky is a Dr. Pepper jerky. And the recipe calls for a can of Dr. Pepper. And instead of that, I use the SodaStream Dr. Pepper syrup. And then I just dilute it out with regular water so then I don't have the carbonation in my marinade.
Yeah. So what do you use kind of for the meat when you're doing this? Is this just a beef jerky? Do you go with something else?
Arby's.
Yeah, this one was I think it was bottom round if I remember right. Usually I just whatever's at Sam's Club, I usually buy whatever's one of the cheaper ones that's already kind of a thin cut, and then I slice it into strips.
You mean you go to your local butcher shop and support local instead of the big box stores?
I would if they were like $4 a pound.
Right. This is delicious. Thank you for the snack.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm going to save my last one for when I finish this beer. Got about a quarter left. I've been working on it. No, that's pretty good. The reason I ask, my mom used to make, but she still does on occasion, but the jerky that she always made was goose jerky.
Oh.
Yes.
And it was because my dad liked to go goose hunting, but my mom did not like cooking the goose afterwards. So what do you do with it? That was goose is a very gamey taste to it. And so the best thing she ever found was that she could make jerky out of it. And it worked well. And at that, time, again, my dad was hunting because it provided food and helped with the whole budget. So it was a way to hey, a goose, made actually quite a bit of jerky, and then he had snack food. So it worked pretty well. But she doesn't make it all that often because he doesn't really go goose hunting anymore. So it's kind of if he gets lucky, because where his house is located in North Mandan, there's a ridge kind of right before his house and then drops down to river bottom land. And so these geese will come up from on the river bottom and they'll just try and skim the hill. So I've shown up at Thanksgiving dinner to my dad and my brother sitting in lawn chairs in the driveway trying to shoot geese as they come over that ridge while drinking beer. You know, and if they get one, then we have jerky. That's how it goes. So, but yeah, we haven't had that in a while. So, which is sad. I don't know about you guys, but like they've started combining the fields out west. And so driving back and forth, my allergies have been acting up a lot lately. So,
Oh, yeah.
So,
Like I said, the planet tries to kill me every day.
probably explains why you're an alien.
Yeah.
Speaking of all the driving, I don't know if Kidder's super familiar, but I'm sure you're kind of somewhat familiar, Howard. Just north of Williston, there's a pilot station on Highway 2.
Okay. Yes.
Apparently that recently closed and was broken into today.
Oh.
So that was one of our main stops on the way back to visit my wife's family. We'd usually stop there for the last potty break before we got there because they live up in northeastern Montana. So now we got to get a new potty break.
Man, you know, it is amazing when you do a lot of traveling down certain routes, you kind of have those spots where it's like, this is where I stop because it's got everything. And with my job and all the traveling I do kind of around the state, I have those places. And so it's always kind of funny when I'm traveling with somebody and they're like, you know, a good spot to stop where we could just like grab a quick snack and a bathroom and that. I'm like, oh yeah, if you wait a little bit, we'll hit Valley City and here's a great spot here.
Pizza corner.
We usually don't have that kind of time, Kidder.
Yeah, usually when we take that trip, we stop in Minot and then we'll stop at that pilot station. And there's really not much between that pilot station and where her parents are from. So now we'll have to stop like Ray or something like that. That's right before there.
Yeah, that's a shame. You hate when you lose those good places,
right? Especially with a toddler. I mean, hour and a half is about what their bladder can go.
Yeah, that is kind of the limit. You kind of have to look at where the hour and a half mark is. So, although Junior's been doing pretty good, he's been going up to about like 2 hours. So
nice. Yeah, my little guy, he's been over a month without an accident now, which is pretty awesome. We're pretty proud of him, and we actually told him if he went a whole month without an accident, we'd buy him a toy. And we told him the other day if he wanted to go, we could go to the store and pick out a toy. He goes, "No, I have enough toys." So I was like, "Well, we'll keep that one in our back pocket, I guess, for when he sees one that he wants."
Yeah. No, mine has just started the kind of the phase of every time now he sees a toy, like when we go to a store, he asks for, it's like, no, sorry, buddy.
Yep.
Not happening. You have enough toys.
We like you say, yours is about 3 months younger than mine, and we went through that a few months ago. And about a month ago, we were at Target, and they were clearancing out a whole bunch of stuff that he had his eyes on. And so, "Well, do you want it?" And he's like, "No, I don't need it." So we picked up a few of the things that he really was aggressive about when he was wanting them, and those will be probably a Christmas present for him.
Yeah. No, we're just kind of hitting that, and he's for the most part okay. Like, he doesn't throw a tantrum or anything, but he does ask. But like he really has found he likes to go to McDonald's because there's a toy that he gets every time. So
yep. My mom watched him Tuesday night, and she said she'd bring him dinner, whatever he wants. So I asked him what he wanted. He goes, "I want chicken nuggets and French fries and apples and a toy." I was like, "Okay, you want a Happy Meal?"
Yeah, you get to that stage.
At least they give him apples now. I don't remember ever having the fruit when we were kids, so at least there's something healthy there.
Yeah. Well, and we I don't know if you're like us. We don't eat out all that often, so it's a rare treat. It kind of is either Lefty or myself has like worked a long day, and it's like, okay, we're not going to cook. Let's grab something quick.
Yeah. So. For us, it's weekends. We don't generally have meals planned for, but throughout the week we usually do. But like this week, we didn't really have anything planned because we were in Minneapolis last weekend, and so we didn't have time to do our meal planning that we normally do on the weekend. And then we came home Sunday, but we both had Monday off of work. And then Tuesday night, we do trivia at Dialectic. So we only had like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday really to plan meals for, and we just didn't really bother this week. So
Yeah. I mean, that happens. We're not the best at planning always, but we have some go-to recipes that we like to use and things like that. So
yeah, we usually keep a couple like super easy like freezer meals too, or like a Stouffer's lasagna or things like that, just to have on hand for days that we don't feel like doing anything.
Yep. We do that too. So like tonight was freezer pizza because I had one and it's like that's easy for me to do and throw in and not have to do too much. So
Yep. And the kids generally love pizza. So
they do. My little girl, she's little miss is kind of picky. So we're going through a little bit of headbutting with that. So
yeah, how old is she now?
She's coming up on 1.5.
Okay, that's what I was thinking about, 1.5, not quite, but
Yeah. So, but she's fun. She's a lot of fun. It was interesting, you know, like I was glad that when we had our son, because it's like, okay, he's a boy. I know how to raise, you know, or at least interact with that. You know, a little girl, I'm like, I have no idea, you know, like I don't know what this is gonna be like, but I'm learning. It's fun.
Yep.
She's a character. She is far more fearless than I think Junior is, and
really,
oh yeah,
that's non-stereotypical. Usually the boys are the fearless ones.
yeah. No, she is absolutely a thrill seeker. You know, if Junior goes down a slide at the park and it's maybe too big, too steep, and you know he's not quite ready for it, like he'll do it once and then he's pretty much done. He won't do it again. She'll go down it, and no matter how rough or banged up she gets with it, she'll run around and want to go down it like 3-4 more times. So
Nice.
She's a very much a thrill seeker and such. But yeah, she's pretty funny. She makes me laugh quite a bit. So
Nice. And my little guy, he's usually really shy around people, and I was kind of surprised today when Kidder came over to get the beer. He was like all over him.
it
was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Kept calling him chicken, which is his new thing. He just calls everybody chicken. I don't know why.
Which speaking of, unfortunately, because Kidder, you know, hit your place first and that, I still have something for Colt. So,
oh yes, that's right.
At some point, I'll have to get that to you, along with your beer that I purchased. So we'll have to work that out sometime.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I get over your way too, because my parents don't live too far from you. So if we get over there, then we can swing up.
Yeah, it'll be a little hard. But I'm usually around Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
And then out in Medora.
Right. Yeah, my parents are out of town this weekend, so it won't work out. But
yeah, so we'll have to swing that at some point because it's be good. I know when we had the little get together over here with for Big D, Junior was sad that Colts didn't come over.
Oh,
so he was looking forward to somebody I can play with, and I'm like, oh, sorry, buddy. So,
yeah, I just totally spaced it until like the day of, and we had talked about it, and we talked about potentially maybe coming over, but
it's all right. It's all right. We had a good time.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good to see everybody. Kidder did the hula.
Oh yeah, I missed out.
I'm just seeing if he's listening at this point. I know I know it's been a week for Kidder, so I'm just like, I
can
can see
beer, but it was a root beer, and I didn't have 19 of them. I had 19 of them, and so I was wondering if there was a point when I did, and I'm like, no. That's code. He gave me a pounder of 1919 root beer, which is non-alcoholic,
but it is delicious.
It is. It was one of those. I still had one in the cooler, and Kidder's like, "Well, I'll just have one of the mug root beers. That'll be fine." I'm like, "Nah," and I dug in there. I'm like, "Here, have the good stuff." So,
I saw at least one of our other classmates showed up there. So,
yeah, I knew that he would have been the other one who would have and I think he canceled some plans to actually show up.
Oh wow!
But that was the other one that when I talked to Big D, I'm like, is there anybody in Bismarck that I need to get the invite out to? He said him, and I'm like, oh, okay,
nice.
I can do that.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that particular classmate since high school. So,
we saw him a lot up at UND and such, and a little bit since we got back. But then he met the gal who's now his wife, and we just don't run in the same circles, and I've been busy with life, and it's hard for me to keep up with everybody,
right?
So,
kids will do that.
Kids will, but I'm also just kind of that too. It's like between work and just time and wanting to do things, and I mean, there's a reason we do a podcast every week. It's so that I get to see Kidder every week. Otherwise, it could be months in between me running into him.
Right. That's why I like joining you guys too, because I mean, I don't generally see you guys a whole lot outside of the podcast, but I have been thinking it'd be fun to get together for a barbecue.
What are you talking about? It's like every hour of every day. You're like, oh, God dang it, these two idiots again.
We do need to have our cook-off, though, Kidder.
I don't know if you want to.
Okay, IPA is gone. I was motivated to finish it so I could have this last piece of jerky.
I just want to mention, since you're talking about things coming up, because this is a very important thing. September 5th, 6th, and 7th. Will this be out? That's like 2 weeks. I don't know.
This won't be out.
No.
We have at least like 3 episodes before this.
All right, never mind. Battle of the Badges. Kirkwood Mall, Bismarck. Those 3 days, 5th, 6th, 7th of September. So if you're watching this now, sorry you missed it, but go donate blood because, damn it, they need it. And no, it doesn't matter where you are watching or listening to this. Go donate some blood, set up an appointment, and give a pint or two. Because you could save a life. Do you know that 1 pint of blood can save 18 infant lives? I think it's 18. Maybe it's 20, 24. It's a lot. What are you laughing at? Save it for the kids, man. Pint of blood. Hold on. I will look. I'm going to fact check myself because of your laughing ass over there.
I'm laughing because of that presentation. Like, you were like so serious. Like, did you know that a pint of blood can save 18 kids? Maybe it's 20. I mean, it was just the delivery of it. It cracked me up, okay?
You were like so sure. I'm a natural entertainer. What can I say?
And I'm being entertained. Like, this isn't insulting. It's just that the way you delivered it, it struck a funny bone, okay? I've been working in a house built from 1883 where like everybody is like, get the facts right, so just the fact that you did it that way, just, I don't know, cracked me up.
Speaking of being an entertainer, Kidder, my friend that you saw earlier, he mentioned to me that he forgot to tell you that he hangs out with you every Wednesday.
Probably, yeah. At which place?
On the radio.
Oh, okay. As he should.
I mean, you might track his license plate going around the campus too. But...
No idea what you're talking about. Every day in the United States, 29,000 units of red blood cells are needed for patients in hospitals, surgical centers, and emergency treatment facilities. 5,000 units of platelets and 6,500 units of plasma. I just want to know the facts. Give me the facts. Like, more facts. Like, it's very basic.
Hitter looking up facts on Google. Brought to you by Mug Root Beer. Howard's second drink of the night. Mug Root Beer. For when you don't want caffeine because it's already late and you're the parent in charge and can't drink another beer. Mug. It'll get you through.
Mug's the safe choice. You got to be careful. Barks has caffeine in it.
It does.
It's because Barks has bite.
You're right.
That was the exact joke I was going to make, but
It's not like we've known each other for a good 20 plus years at this point.
And I'm on empty, so if you're doing a what's on tap, I'm going to go ahead and go get myself another one.
I've been researching.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't really doing it as what's on tap. It was more of like stalling. I was giving Kidder time to do his research, you know, trying to keep people entertained during this and to cut down on the number of pauses I have to cut out of the final product of this episode. You know,
So 1 pint of blood can save up to 3 adult lives. So there you go. What? Local Geek left. He can't even hear this presentation. He's probably out of Bluetooth range. He even muted himself, so he can't even respond.
I'm sorry, I little miss here on that, but it sounds like you said 3 adult. Well, you said 3 adult lives. I slightly misheard it as 3 adult wives, and I was just like,
Listen, I'm sure if the anti-polygamy people want to get in on this too, I mean, you go for it. Like, you do your thing.
I mean, I'm laughing more at myself. It's the fact that like I heard that, knew it was wrong, but it just made me chuckle because I'm like, you know, the fact that that's what I heard. Yeah.
1 in 7 people entering the hospital need blood. On average.
Kidder dropping the facts.
Plasma is 90% water, makes up 55% of blood volume.
Speaking of blood volume, Kidder, I'm falling behind on keeping up with all of the Mortal Kombat 1 trailers and things they've been putting out. I really need to look into this because I'm getting really excited. It actually looks like they brought back Montaro, who was like the big bad from, well, he was the sub boss of Mortal Kombat 3, but yeah, it's interesting. He hasn't been in the game a lot because programming a centaur is hard, apparently. So, and Local Geek made a face. Yeah, I saw it.
I made a sound too. I had a weird burp.
This is the problem when I don't have a project to keep my hands busy. I can observe everything. And
You could try editing during the show. Not like there's anything interesting going on. Oh.
yeah, mentally I already am. I'm like, well, there's a pause I got to cut out.
Oh. Well.
Too bad there's not a way in. Well, I'm going to say this, and Kidder's going to be like, "What do you mean?" Of course, there's a short. It's a 2-button push, but too bad there's not a way in Premiere that I could just get it to identify all of the dead air and just cut that out. That would save me so much time in editing.
Like anything more than like 3 seconds of dead air.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to allow like a small tidbit of pause because sometimes you need that. But every now and then we hit like an awkward transition, or like in this case where Kidder was looking up facts, and it's like you have these long pauses. Or if
nothing's awkward. It's fine.
Or we have like Rude Boy Kyle on, and he goes NPR mode, and so he pauses as he figures out what he's going to say next. Like, to sit and cut all of those out is what takes forever, but I have to do it because it ends up saving us minutes, which allows us to put out more content and me to not have to cut content.
First thing you can do, Control-Alt-Delete. Second thing you can do, in your timeline, stretch the audio track from here to here so you see the waveform.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make it much easier because you won't see the audio waveform like this, and it'll be. And then you can go right there, move on, and then bam, 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 and you've suddenly gone through an hour and a half of pauses in minutes.
Interesting. I'll have to try and figure out how to do that.
So when you see your audio tracks, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing them right now.
When you have the three of them next to each other,
okay,
go over here, and then on the far left side over there, when you get the little arrow thing like this.
Okay, the arrows. Okay, I've always wondered what that button does.
No, it's not a button. It's a mouse over.
Oh,
because you're on the line.
Oh, there is a button that kind of looks like that, though.
Yeah. Don't touch that one.
Oh,
you're gonna screw everything up. Don't touch that one. You haven't made it to lesson 30 yet. Stop.
Listen, I'm purely a rank amateur doing all of the editing.
Well, let's be honest. As hosts of this show, we're not much better. So,
wait,
come over here, and then just click on it, hold it, and then drag it down so you make it from here to here.
Okay, got it.
And then it should automatically go across.
Yeah,
but if it didn't do that, then make it bigger.
But the problem is I still got to listen to determine if I need to cut that pause or not. Because sometimes we do it for
out. Who cares?
Because sometimes we need to do it for comedic timing. Because, somebody will say something and, like a bold, claim about, did you know 1 pint of blood can save 3 adult, wives? And then we have that gesture, but there'd be that pause, but we missed the pause.
So then instead of just going, you go, space bar, play. 3 adult wives. Didn't know you could be married all that time. And who would want to do that anyway? One's bad enough.
Well, I didn't know if they'd all be married to the same guy. It was just...
Well, there you go. Throwing things out. Here it is. Hey, Mr. Assumption over here. You know what happens when you assume. You make an ass out of you and me. There it is.
On your facts there, Kidder, first of all, I was listening. And second of all, they phrased that poorly. They said 1 in 7 people who enter a hospital need blood. They should have said 1 in 7 who enter the hospital as patients, because I highly doubt every 7th doctor or nurse that enters the hospital needs blood.
So are you saying
this just
they don't need blood? They're robots? Like they don't need blood at all? They can survive without blood? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't want to give away too many secrets, but
because then 100% of people need blood.
I was going to say, Kidder just exposed a giant conspiracy or a giant cover-up. Hospital workers, vampires.
By the way, I just want to throw this out there that if I am not alive by the time we record the next episode, you will know who killed me. Somebody in the hospital medical system somewhere, or my wife. So
I'm pretty sure it's been stated before on the show that I work in a hospital. So what are you trying to say?
There we go. Suspect number 2.
My wife is also a nurse at a
And
hospital.
number 3. See what I'm saying? The walls are closing in here. I know I have a life insurance policy, but damn it, it's not that good, okay? At least for part of it, I have to be working. So, I mean, you're going to have to be creative about it. Just, if you're going to do it, get it over with quickly. I'm sick of
On that note, I'm going to pop this beer open. I am having a Long Trail Ale.
Screw Kidder's life. I'm going to get drunk.
More like I've been listening about Kidder and his life. I'm getting drunk.
This one says it's named for the famed footpath. This classic amber ale features caramel malt flavors and a clean complexity that meanders across the palate like a well-traveled trail. It's 5% alcohol by volume. I don't think it says the city it's from, but it is from Vermont. And actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but the underside of the lid has Vermont on it.
And if you rotate it 180 degrees, it's New Hampshire.
I thought you were going to say just stick it up your candy ass, but...
Hey, listen, you're not the only one who can make a geography joke on this show.
I would hope out of any of us on this show, or listening or watching, that you, yes, you, could make a geography joke, or a topography joke, or a political joke, or a history joke.
Yes.
But let me tell you, there's some big things happening at UND. You're not going to believe this. The skywalk is gone.
No! That's about as a shocking fact as learning that the Ottoman Empire was not full of furniture for some reason.
And this beer comes to me courtesy of my friend that's from Vermont, and you guys should each have also one of these. So
That's what they get for loafing around. They wouldn't have been conquered.
I like how like you and I are the hosts of the show, but like Local Geek is like still trying, clawing with all of his might to like keep us on topic and task and not let us go down this, these shenanigans.
The shark has jumped the track. The track has jumped the shark. The train is jumping both the track and the shark. Nobody knows what's happening anymore. Get drunk for us, Local Geek. Tell us more.
I'm on it. of the 3 bottles that I gave you guys, this one's my favorite. The one's an IPA, so I mean that kind of speaks for itself.
But
although it wasn't a terrible IPA, it's one I would drink again, but wouldn't be one of my first choices if it was in front of me. The other one was a pale ale, so again, a little bit more on the hoppy side, so not probably Kidder's style, but this one's the amber, and it's pretty good. There was one more bottle in that box that you guys got as a can instead. That's the blackberry wheat, and that one was phenomenal. I actually got a 12-pack of cans of that one on top of the 3 bottles that were in the multi-pack, so I gave you the can instead because it was a little easier to transport.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying some of these over the coming weeks. So my beer fridge is really fully stocked. So
mine got fairly stocked as well after my friend came to. We met him in Minneapolis, but he was visiting a friend in Des Moines and was like, "Hey, if you can meet me in Minneapolis for a weekend, I can make that trip from Des Moines up to Minneapolis." But he wasn't able to make it all the way over here.
Boy was there.
I mean, he could have visited Rude Boy. I don't know who his friend was in Des Moines. He didn't tell me.
Just like any good spy. Doesn't tell you all of his contacts.
Yeah. I do know he's looking forward to watching these episodes with the beers on them. So.
Is he though? Because
I was going to say, joke's on him, because it's going to be like 4 weeks before these come out. He's going to be like, what? What are you guys drinking my beer?
I did warn him that it would be a little bit, because I knew you guys were 2 weeks out before your little hiatus you had. So I was like, it could be 3 or 4 weeks from whenever I record with like you guys. And I didn't know if I'd get on this week or not. So
which
I don't
one
know
are you having? The bottle here?
the long trail is the one I'm having.
I'm going to leave Howard in the dust. Why? Because I need to have this. And number 2, I probably shouldn't, but I don't really care.
You're not going to have the IPA kidder?
I'll suffer through that with Howard. What's that? What are you ancient? What? What? He's a what? What? What do you want?
I don't know.
What? Huh? 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 Eh? Huh? You got something to say? Huh?
No, just pushing buttons.
I get that enough.
It is a pry-off.
How could it be a pry-off when he's hiking?
How can he be hiking when he's got no feet?
Yeah. I mean, they're nubs. Dude can climb, scale a mountain with his nubs. I don't know. I mean, it might hurt. I don't know. I have feet, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm sorry. That was insensitive to those with with nubs. I am sorry. I'm gonna use this body armor pop open the top opener here. Maybe. Okay, it does work. I was worried for a second. Oh, there's the Vermont or New Hampshire. Yes. I wonder if they have bubblers up there. That's a joke made for somebody who I don't think has seen any of these episodes. Cheers to those of you in New Hampshire.
Isn't Massachusetts where the bubbler thing comes from?
No, those are massholes.
Fair enough.
No. The color may be amber and there's 5% alcohol by volume, but it does not give you a happy feeling when you drink this. It's kind of like hiking the long trail when it's just a little bit farther right over this ridge. It's just a little bit farther. It's any time now over this giant 32,000 foot cliff. We're just about there. It's fine. Not my favorite, no.
No? I liked this one
Maybe
quite a bit better than the others.
1.5.
Boy,
Just were you triggered by something I said?
to me or him?
Hey, you.
No, it's just saying we're gonna have to have a tiebreaker because local geek likes it. Peter doesn't. Is it any good? What will Howard think? Well, you'll have to tune in to a future episode of the Triple B to find out. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
Or go for a hike in the mountains of Montana.
which is always enjoyable and a good time. And
Unless you want
the
to
effort.
have a drink. And don't go searching for the hidden lake because it's hidden for a reason.
And if you go for a hike in the mountains of Montana, you're probably going to be able to pick up some cold smoke on the way. So,
That would have made that hike better. I don't care if it was 85 degrees. That would have made that hike moderately tolerable. In fact, we should have picked up a 24 pack and brought it with us on the hike because there would have been 23 that would have been gone.
I don't know if
Oh,
Howard shared
sorry.
with you, but I recently discovered that cold smoke has multiple flavors out in the wild that I've got spies trying to locate. They have a coffee, a chocolate, a vanilla, and a blackberry version.
Perfect. That sounds great.
So I'm really hoping I can locate them.
That would be awesome. Thank you, Local Geek Spies, for getting us alcohol.
I know. I was actually planning to. Lefty and I were planning to actually go to Montana here in September to visit some friends out there, but with my whole covering the chateau, we don't know if that'll happen. So, otherwise, I'd be out there looking for them. Mm-hmm.
I also need to correct what I said about having a 24-pack of cold smoke out on that hike, because as slow as Jake drinks, Nico and I probably wouldn't have been able to drink 23 of those at 16 ounces apiece, so maybe 18 would have been gone. Just for clarification. More if he hadn't got stung by the bee as he was walking. Poor Nico. Yes, I know that was like the day before, but still.
One day we will tell all of that story about the time that you guys came out to visit me in Montana. But we need brother Nico on.
We sure do. Chasing storms in the mountains.
Lots of good stories to tell with that, but that'll have to wait for another day. And on that sad note, Kidder, I know you guys just cracked open a beer, but we've been talking for quite a while.
Yeah,
and
what the hell, man?
Listen, I'm going by the clock, man.
What the hell? Oh, the clock. Did you account for all of the pauses you're going to take out? The half an hour of content wasted?
Yes, I have, because it's going to probably take you 6-7 minutes to get through all of the cheap plugs. Then you'll probably ask for final thoughts, which might spark another 8 minutes of conversation. At this point, that'll put us about 12 minutes over where I need to be, so I have to cut 12 minutes, and therefore all of the pauses will help cut out that 12 minutes. I have thought about this.
Okay. Well, you know what? Follow us, like us, comment on the episodes, share it, buy the help us help you, keep us going, keep your glass at least half full. There's free beer tomorrow. Get some freaking final thoughts.
That is like the shortest cheap plugs ever. I'm not even going to be able to put up all of the little graphics in that amount of time.
Put them all up. It's fine. People will figure it out. But put them all. In fact, you know what? Just put them on the whole screen. Just fill up the screen. Nobody cares.
I've clearly touched a nerve here, Local Geek. You notice that?
Yeah, I think you should have fun with those graphics. Have like one of them run out his nose.
No, that takes a lot of work to do animation. Just you hush. We did radio production. We did not do television production in high school, okay? Calm down with the animation. He's like, but Millennium quality cars. It's still in operation, right? What?
Nothing.
We started that.
We did.
I know you did.
That was one of the funnest classes I think I had in high school.
Mr. Lindblom.
Yep.
Millennium quality cars. They moved from Bismarck to Grand Forks when I went to college. Local Geek, did you ever see that commercial or series of commercials?
I don't think so.
Jaco, you remember those?
Of course I do. As you were bringing them up, I was already thinking that, you know what, I might now know what's going behind the curtain.
Oh.
But knowing you're going to pull them up and make us watch them anyway.
No.
Mm.
I'm going to privately message the local geek so he can enjoy them for himself. Because you've already seen them. So.
I mean, you could be nice and send them to me again so I don't have to try and track them down on your YouTube page. That would, save me just that much editing work.
I did hear a good dad joke the other day, though.
Here we go.
What's made out of leather and sounds like a sneeze? A shoe.
I was almost there. I was almost there. Almost. Have you guys ever, well, I don't know if you guys have smart speakers. So we have the assistant.
How smart are they?
And Lefty will constantly ask it for jokes to try and entertain the kids. And it always annoys me because it's like it delivers the punchline so fast. And it's like, if I had time, a lot of times I could probably figure out, what the pun is and solve it. And so it frustrates me that it gives the punchline right away because I'm like, I want to try and solve it. So
wait till your kids find out that they can make fart noises. It hasn't happened to me yet, but a friend of mine who has a child about 4 months older than mine has been posting on Facebook about that.
Fun. Absolutely fun.
Hey, Google, make a fart noise. No.
Maybe it's only the other one that can do that.
I'm sure. It's got that lowbrow humor that Howard's really into.
Mine is also the Google one, so if I watch this on my TV, you will probably trigger it.
Why do you think I always use the code phrase assistant when I talk about it?
That's why I also just let it loose, because anybody watching or listening will see if it does something else that it's not supposed to.
Kidder, the one time that happened to me, you woke my kid up from a nap.
What?
He was taking a nap and you made my assistant talk and the volume was kind of loud on it.
What did I say? What did I tell it to do?
I don't remember. It was pretty early on.
See, and I know that I once did that where I did the whole, Alexa, play the podcast Beer, Blues, and BS. And did that to try and trigger some people's devices, but only the one time.
Your viewership or your listenership didn't jump up for that one episode?
No. I didn't get any hate mail or feedback on it, so it's like, oh. Yeah. Oh, well, I guess. That's how it goes. Well, I don't know if those were officially final thoughts, but I think that was final thoughts.
Well, I guess keep your glasses at least half full. There's free beer tomorrow, and we'll catch you on down that interesting Tuscan highway. See you on the next episode of Beer, Blues, and BS.
Yeah, she's about half full.
Yeah, I'm down to about half.
You guys are behind.
Kidder, I know a whole lot better than to try and keep up with you.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means I just know you're the faster drinker and I can't keep up with you.
Apparently I can't either. Although I think I finished the first beer before he did.
See, most people slow down the more beer they drink. Kidder just speeds up. He accelerates.
Yeah, you got to lean into it.
At least that's my take on it. Anyway.
Where are you taking me? I like Outback.
Sorry, none nearby.
Oh, they're close enough.
Unless you mean out back behind the barn to shoot you, that would be a difference.
That's fine. Let's do it. Go right ahead. It's video proof, so I mean, you might get like manslaughter. It won't be murder.
Now you're up to 4 suspects just in this episode.
At this point, I don't care.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
I'm Swindle You from Millennium Quality Cars, and we are in the middle of our School's Already Started sale. Down here at Millennium Quality Cars, we have an obligation to sell you the cheapest car in town. And you can tell by my Canadian tuxedo that we are so crazy, cars are practically driving themselves right off the lot.
Check out this beauty. It's brand new to the lot with brand new tires for only $75. Buy this Ranger XLT and you get this Cutlass Sierra for free. An awesome deal for only $3,200.
We've got deals all across the lot. 0.9 financing and $0 down with approved credit. You can't lose. So stop down and see our working cars in our super selection. We're Millennium Quality Cars, right here in Grand Forks on Columbia.
Hey, you're the Canadian tuxedo!